Good morning. Hello everyone. My name is Regina Tatiana Bawono and I'm from Angkasa Junior High School, Lanut Sultan Hasanuddin. Today, I am going to tell you a famous story from Maros, South Sulawesi. It is called The Legend of Bantimurung. Once upon a time, in Tawakala Kingdom, lived a very brave ape king named Imarakondang. One day, Imarakondang and his guard set off to the woods and hunt for some food. All of a sudden, he heard voice of girls showering in the stream. And when he peeked through the bushes, he saw the most beautiful girl. And he was mumbling, what a beautiful girl. She must be mine. And then he asked his guard, who is she? The guard answers, Oh Karayang, my majesty, she is Bisudayang, the princess of Cenrana. Satisfied with the guard's answer, Imarakondang continued his hunt. A few days later, he sat down on his garden, still thinking about Bisudayang. When he's thinking about Bisudayang, he always smiles. Yes, he smiles like a crazy person. Yes, everyone, he had fell in love with her. Have you ever been in love? Maybe not. But because he couldn't hold his feelings anymore, he told one of his guards to send a message to the king of Cenrana that he wants to propose Bisudayang. So, the guards immediately took off to the kingdom of Cenrana. Then, when the guards got there, they immediately go to the king and said, Oh Karayang, my majesty, my king wants to propose your daughter, and we want your answer right now. The king immediately stood up and answered, Yes, I will tell you my answer via email. Wait, you don't have email, so. Yes, I will send you my guard so that they will send you my answer. Now go back to your kingdom. Hearing that, the guards went back home to Tawakala. In the night, the king discussed with his daughter, My dear, do you want to marry Imarakondang? With a shocked face, Bisudayang answers, Father, do you mean Imarakondang, the king of Tawakala? The ape? Her father frowns, knowing that Bisudayang definitely did not want to marry him. Yes, my dear, unfortunately, the ape king. Bisudayang is confused. She does not want to marry an ape. She pleads her father, Father, please, I do not want to marry him. I do not want to marry an ape. So, her father is very afraid of Imarakondang's kingdom because Tawakala is the strongest kingdom out of all kingdoms. He said, My dear, we cannot fight them with war. And I am afraid if we reject him, there will be a war between our kingdom. Bisudayang frowns. She did not want to marry an ape, but she also doesn't want any war. So she thinks for a minute, how can I beat him? Then an idea strikes to her head. She said, Father, I have an idea. We can beat them, but not with a war. The biggest day was coming. Imarakondang is invited to a dinner party from the kingdom of Cenrana. He takes his guards with him. Then, the kingdom of Cenrana welcomed them very well. They dance, they sing, they are very happy. Then, come the dinner time. Bisudayeng executed her plan. Bisudayeng's people burned down the place when Imarakondang and his guard are still eating. And then the fire starts to be everywhere. They start to run frantically. Everything became so crowded. They started screaming for help. Help! Help! They said like that. They screamed. And the only survivor from that fire is Imarakondang. Then he saw his only guard that is still alive, but the guard is also dying. So he ran up to his guard and said, "Ah! What happened here?" Then the guard said, weakly, because he starts to dying, "Ah, ah, ah. Oh, Karayang, my majesty, Bisudayeng did this. She want all of us to die." Hearing that, Imarakondang is shocked. And he's sad because after saying that, his guard dies in his hand. Seeing that, Imarakondang felt sad and agony washes up over him. And he screamed for Bisudayeng, "Bisudayeng!" And he ran for her. Then they met near a small hill. When they met, he said, "Bisudayeng, why did you did this to me and my people?" Bisudayeng is scared of Imarakondang. Then she said, "Imarakondang, I am afraid if I reject you, there will be a war between us." Then Imarakondang frowns. "Bisudayeng, I will never force you to love me. Love is not something that I can force. If you do not want to marry me, just say it. I will never start a war between us." And then Bisudayeng felt really guilty and embarrassed. She said, "Imarakondang, I never thought you would be this wise. I am really sorry for what I have done." Then Imarakondang said, "You need to tell me everything if you do not want to marry me. Because look what you have done to me. You have killed my people." Then, hearing that, Bisudayeng ran off and left Imarakondang alone. He felt really sad, felt angry. All of it are mixed up. He starts to scream loudly because he lost his people, his love, everything. He screamed, "Bisudayeng!" And then the hills were split. The thunder and the sky became dark. Then there's a sound of water rolling through the split hills. And that is Bantimurung, or what we call it now is Bantimurung. The moral of the story is that you need to always think positively, because even if you're good looking but you always think negatively, you are bad. So always think positive, guys. Thank you for the attention and good morning.